Okay, it says I'm live. Let me see if I can pull this back up again. Hopefully you guys can hear me and you found me. Okay. Let me know who's here and if you can hear me. All right. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, yay sound. I don't know. I had it all set up and ready to go. Okay, so I'll have to start all over again, guys. Then I'll adjust all of the details and post all the links in the description box, and I'll fix all that up after I've done my live. So hey, Delphina, you found me again. Yeah, I'll do the intro again. Hey, Nancy, Holly, Git Lavragen. Hey, okay, so and Jackie and Janice, Delphina and Rhonda from BC. Okay, great. You guys can hear me. Let's wait for a few more people to hop on. And I apologize. I don't know what's going on. If it works one day and then it works another. So I don't know. Anyways, must be the wildfires north of us that are burning down our towns, and people are going homeless because towns are burning from our Canadian wildfires up north. All right, thanks, Nancy. You're the best. All right, let's see who else is going to hop on. All right, so the intro I'm going to do again. Okay, back to this for those who were here before. Go on. So this was my granddad's. It was always on his dresser when we were growing up, and I'd sneak into his room and I'd take it and I'd play with it because I love dogs. And this is so cute. It almost looks like Murphy. So what it is, it's an old, very old cigarette box. He would be, like I said, 115 years old or more now. But you pop the tail down, and then he pops up onto his back hind legs and holds the lid. And all the cigarettes, when they used to make, roll their own. Anyhow, I have my clips in here now. My mom gave this to me when we moved her into the independent living retirement home, and I always wanted this, so I have it now. So you'll see that on the screen. All right, so going back to the intro again, Amanda from BB May Designs, her YouTube name, she's been asking me, yeah, thanks, Wendy. Thanks everybody for coming back. Anyhow, Amanda asked me to do a tutorial on the mini traveler sling pouch from Can Do Patterns. So anyhow, I've got a tutorial. It will be published at some point in time, but this is the version that I did of the mini traveler sling pouch. It's not so mini because I printed the pattern at 110%. And so I've made everything with EMMALINE bags. And so this is the size at 110. It might be a little about approximate size of the fielder, but we all know what the mini traveler looks like. So thanks everybody for coming back. All right, so there's the mini traveler. And then I was, Delphina and I were asked to be on a pattern testing group with Kate from Texas Leather Designs, and she works all in leather, but we were able to do the bag how we wanted to. So this is the April RENE shoulder bag. Now you can make it into a handbag. I made it into a shoulder bag with really long straps. So this is the front of the bag, and I use tooled faux leather. You can buy this from Sam Fabric Creation in Quebec. So there's the front of the bag. Really, I love this offset coordinating look. It really looks cool. And then this is the back, a nice size zipper pocket on the back. We've got a zipper end on the And I tried to make it like kind of Western looking and give it a Southwestern look to it by using these rivets that look like little turquoise, but they kind of, I don't know, they're there. So, and then it has this, I've got long straps so that I can wear it, you know, but anybody who makes it can make, you can even make it into a crossbody as well. No, the pattern, I'm going to link it. It's just live now. So when I finish, Nancy, when I finish all of my, this live and I do all the details all over again and list all the patterns, I'll list this as well in the link. The pattern is live now. So anyhow, you know, we have a really nice recessed zipper pocket. And then inside, I've used the same lining that I did with the mini sling. So there's a double, it's hard to see because my light's not here, but there's a double slip pocket here. And then on the other side with a zipper overlay, there's a nice size zipper. This bag is huge inside. It is really, really big, and it's a nice size bag. It's not too big either. So that is the April RENE from Texas Leather Designs from Kate. I can't remember her last name. I think it starts with a B. And Delphina has posted on I believe she's even posted it on my 360 Handmade Bags main Facebook group. All right. And the other thing is, before I forget, I've created a group in Facebook, a separate group. It's called 360 Handmade Bags for Sale. And I'm posting, I finally got all the pictures made of all the bags that I've done. And I'm posting just my bags for sale on that group so that I don't have my website anymore. I wasn't selling anything. And Facebook, you have more of an audience. So I've created that Facebook group for me to post my bags for sale. If anybody wants to post what they've made or whatever on my main Facebook group, that's great too. So anyhow, hi, Deb from Florida. Alrighty, so this is what we're making today. Holly asked me to look at one of her older patterns. I'm not exactly sure when this one came out, but it's the Hollywood shoulder bag. There's two pattern sizes in the pattern. So you get a 2-4. There's the Diva, which is the large, and then there's the Petite, which is the smaller version. We're doing the Petite today, but I will be releasing soon the Diva size, which is the tutorial that she asked me to record. And the Diva size, which is the large size, will be coming soon. So these are the two bags. That's the Diva, the bigger one, and that's the Petite. So it's the Hollywood shoulder bag. I did have the link in the other the other live, but I'll make sure that all of this is linked in this after I'm done. So you guys get a sneak peek of the Diva. It's all creased. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? This is a big bag and it's a nice shoulder bag. So that's the back. And I put my bag tag on the back because I have this beautiful rhinestone blingy thing. It almost looks like Chanel, I guess, in a way. But that Louise from Sam Fabric gave me this as part of what she sent me when I achieved 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So that is on the front flap, and all of my hardware is rose gold, except for this, which is silver. The material that I used is leather. This leather I got from Lens Mills in Barrie, and it was on a roll. It was a meter, which is about 3 inches longer than a yard. And it has ostrich dots. There's no profile really to them, but it's leather. And I paid $10 for the roll. It was an end of the roll. I thought, I'm getting this. And I've had it for a while. And I thought, you know what? This is a Hollywood bag. Holly, it should have had it Holly Dashwood because it's your name. And but I wanted to have a really classy look to this bag being in Hollywood. You could wear it down Rodeo Drive. I'm assuming that's in Hollywood, and made it out of leather, and I wanted to bling it up. So this has, the smaller version is going to be a lot smaller, but it has this flap. And of course, the lining is from Sam Fabric and a magnetic snap. But look at the size of that slip pocket. It's dark, I know. My lights are set for later. And then it has this recessed zipper. So I used a blush pink to go with the rose gold, blush pink zipper with black zipper tape. And I think I got that from Atelier. And this is the shoulder strap. So inside, tons of room. This is a beautiful, beautiful bag. Look at the size of that. That is absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to get the light from the windows. There's a slip pocket on this side and then a zipper pocket on that side. It is a stunning bag. Yeah, so anyhow, this is how it looks on me. You won't see my head, but I always have my bags on my right hip. And when I make bags that are supposed to be for me, I always have my zipper pulling to the right. But this is how it looks. That is the perfect size on my hip. I love this bag. It's so pretty. So I have that hanging here, and we're going to see that. So today we're doing the petite, which is smaller. I've already gone ahead and done a lot of prep. So the fabrics that I'm using, first of all, before I forget, you can just see it peeking here, is from EMMALINE bags, and it's the Tex 45 Fusion nylon bonded thread, and the color is burnt orange. And so all the fabric that I'm using is from, of course, Sam Fabric Creation, and I had all already in the description box from the other live. She still has a sale on. Depending on how much you purchase, you use a certain code. I don't know if it's 10, 15, or 20% off. And I'll repost that in the description box so you can check that out. But my lining is this water-resistant, waterproof canvas. The exterior, now this bag, this version, I am not interfacing anything because this is the faux leather, the sunflower, and it's thick. So I'm not doing any interfacing with anything. And then on the for the coordinating contrast is this dragon scale, which is perfect for these colors. Gorgeous, just stunning. And then the hardware, I'm doing antique brass. So what we're going to do is, I think there was something else I was going to tell you. I've done a lot of prep, so I'll kind of go over that as I go. And like I've already installed all my magnetic snaps. I've installed my bag tag. I've made my strap. This is a shoulder bag, but you could make it as with a crossbody with an adjustable strap. So anyhow, so that's the underside of the strap. It's a two-tone. And so I've used the dragon scale. And then on this side, I had the sunflower because I did the Marzia bucket bag using this sunflower and the solid. And I thought I'm going to put that on the strap. So we have a nice two-tone strap. We have the strap ends on the end. So that's already made. I've got a lot of stuff prepped and ready to go. Now, if you feel sick, close your eyes. I'm going to move the camera down, and I'm hoping everybody is okay. And Nancy's on with the links. Oh, no. Okay, you guys still there? My touch screen. Okay, everybody's still here? Okay, I'm hoping that that's good. Okay, it looks good. Frankie's here, of course. All right, so I will be following the pattern. It's a very easy pattern. It's it's a nice pattern to follow. So, all right, so we're going to be starting with pattern piece D, the front pocket flap. And you have one lining piece and one exterior. So I'm doing the, doing that. And I've already put my male portion. Am I doing the right piece? No, sorry. I don't want to do the flap first. I had these all in order. Sorry, scrap that. Pattern piece C is the front exterior pocket. So of course, it's like the flap. You have a lining and then you have the main exterior. And I've already put my female portion of the magnetic snap on that. So for that pattern, we're going to clip, mark it, make sure all your centers are marked. We're going to clip the top long raw edges, and then we're going to sew across at the seam allowance in the pattern. Now, I hope everybody, it looks like, and I'm watching this on my computer, so I'm going to sew this, and I'm going to move I've got my stitch length down to a 3. Okay. And this is the slip pocket that we're working on, the front slip pocket. This is still going to be a nice size bag, the petite. I don't think it's going to be a super small bag, and it's going to be a nice size bag for everyday use. All right, and then we will flip, clip, and top stitch. That seems to be my motto these days. Flip, 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 and top stitch. And I'm watching it on my computer, and everything looks good. You just can't see me, and that's okay. You don't need to see me. So we're just clipping that top seam allowance, and we're going to top stitch across that, and then we're going to baste around the raw edges. Okay. And I'll start on the side of the raw edge so that I don't have any back stitching. If you start back stitching at the at your ends, that'll add a little bit of extra bulk. Skipped off there. Okay. And this burnt orange thread looks amazing with the sunflower yellow. All right, so there is our flap. Oh, no, sorry. This is our front exterior pocket. So we're going to now work on the flap, which is exactly the same thing. So with the front pattern piece D, the front pocket flap, you have an exterior and you have your lining. All right. And based, I'm just following the pattern. And we've already got the male portion of the magnetic snap installed. Okay, and the same, we're going to match our centers. We're going to clip across the top and sew it, flip and top stitch. And right sides together, of course, with your lining and your exterior. So I've already put my male portion of the magnetic snap on the lining, on the right side of the lining, and then on the right side of my flap exterior, I've put my bag tag. All right, so we're going to fold these and clip everything. Line up your sides. You hear that enough for me in my videos. Trying to see comments. I'm hoping we got everybody back. Hi, Cynthia, you made it. I hope everybody came back. I don't know if Barbie's back, but Valerie's here. Delphina and Nancy and Holly and Cynthia. All right, so we're going to baste this around and we're going to top stitch. And I also forgot to mention, this is a birth bag. So we are birthing this petite version that I'm sewing today. However, when I did the Diva, because of the leather and the interfacing that I used, it creases. So I turned that into a drop-in lining and did a drop-in version instead, which was easy to do. But we are going to see if this fabric will handle the birthing. All right, so now we have our exterior and our flap. All right, now we're going to get one of our pattern piece A's exterior, and that's the front and back panel. So you have two linings and you have two exterior. Make sure I'm following this right and not skipping. Lay the front panel right side up. Yeah, okay, we've got our centers marked. So we're laying the front panel right side up. And we're putting the exterior slip pocket together. So lining right side to the right side of the back panel or the panel. And we're going to clip, match your centers. I'm really going to like this bag. I love this sunflower color of faux leather from Sam Fabric. I love it. My daughter Brenna loved sunflowers, and it was her favorite flower. So, and the color, I never liked yellow before, but I really like this. I like this color. Okay. And we're going to now baste all around the clipped area. When you do, now I say this in my tutorials, I'm sure you guys all know this, but watch when your presser foot goes over these type of corners, because it'll push it. So I always kind of stop when I get to this point, lift my presser foot up so it sits over top, and then it'll keep it from pushing your edges out of the way. There we go. And we're just basting that on. Now this bag will be significantly shorter. I think it's basically an inch wider than the Diva, but it's going to be several inches shorter. Looks like I'll have to do some trimming. Okay. And our slip pocket is now on. All right, so place the front pocket flap right side up on top of the front panel. All right, so now I have to just mark my center, and I've already, like I said, I've already got my bag tag on the front and the mail portion on the lining side. And I just have to mark my center here. I'll just use a little crease. Oh, I got to mark it here on the bottom. Oh, I already did. Oh, close. No. Hold on. Oh, I wasn't supposed to top stitch this. Silly me. I was just supposed to base this. Oh, for crying out loud. Hold on. Jack the seam ripper. Oh my goodness. I tell you, I'm better at following a tutorial than following a pattern. This was supposed to be turned out. All right, there's always something that happens in live. You guys don't get to see all this stuff in a tutorial because I get to edit it. I get to edit all my mistakes out. Oh, for crying out loud. All right, going back a step or two. Chat amongst yourselves. Live TV. Yeah, I know, Holly. I'm seeing. Oh, I'm telling you, like I said, crazy. You try hard not to make mistakes when you're live, and then, well, there it happens. There it goes. So we're getting there. Always something happens with my live. I can't believe that the sound went out. So I'm going to have to figure that out. And I'm hoping the sound is okay, because I notice on the replays with my sound, if I just use the speakerphone on my tablet, the sound sounds distorted, like there's noise reduction or something going on. I don't know. All right, we're getting there. I got to unpick everything all the way around. And then I have to unpick the stitches. Frustrated. Thanks, Holly. Yeah, we all do it, and what's worse is, when you're top stitching and the bobbin runs out mid-top stitching, or you do a beautiful zipper with zipper ends on either end, and then you forget to put your zipper pull on. Yes, we have definitely all done it. And you know what? You guys get to see that I make mistakes, and I make a lot of mistakes. Like I said, when I record my tutorials, I get to edit all that stuff out. And you don't hear the swearing either, so I'm actually being pretty good today. Being a little polite than what you might hear off camera. Oh, here goes my back. Okay. All right, now we just have to unpick all of this together again. It should all come out pretty good. You think you have everything all ready to roll and all perfectly planned, and then something occurs, but that's okay. It's how we all learn. And, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm still learning, so. Oh, Holly says she sewed a zipper in upside down the other day. Okay, I'm not feeling so bad. I just don't like wasting people's time by making mistakes and then having to do this. I'm always conscious of everybody's time. Okay, let's do this again. So our flap is right sides together. Clip the top raw, just clip all the sides because we're going to be sewing the sides together, right sides together, and then we're going to be turning it. We're going to be birthing the flap. High fixation fiber. You found me the second round for round 2. I'm going to leave the first one up, the first link up that everybody had a link to in all the posts that I made on Facebook and stuff. And then I'll link this actual link to that. All right, so we have our right sides together for our flap, and I'm going to stitch around the curved raw edge. And so Terry said she made the Marzia the other day, all finished, then realized she had a twist in my hand. And the twist in the handle. Not fun. All right, so now we're going to stitch this the right way. This is where you have to watch because I install my magnetic snaps first. Now, Holly has a certain seam allowance in the pattern. I do anything I sew, I do 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, only because of the fact it's easier for me to follow the edge of my presser foot than trying to follow the lines on my sewing machine, which aren't really marked very well. So sorry, Holly, I don't follow your seam allowance, and that's why the Diva is a little bigger. So I'm going to take my pinking shears and I'm just going to trim down the edges, especially around the curve, so that I'm just going to take 1/8 of an inch off, just so that when I turn this right side out, it's going to sit better. I couldn't do that with the Diva because the fabrics were just too thick. At least this cuts now. All right. Cut into those corners here. Okay, there is the flap the right way. All right, so we're just going to turn that out. And then when we get it all turned out, then we're going to top stitch all around the sewn edge. And you need your turning tool for this. But this fabric from Sam Fabric is really nice to work with too. My turning tool is my old plastic knitting needle, and the end's broken off, so it doesn't have any points to create any way to poke through. And it does push out the seams quite nicely. Sorry if my head's in the way. Okay. Got them pushed out, and then I'm just going to clip them. This size is going to be really cute. The other size, the Diva, would make a beautiful, classy work bag. Like if I was still working, I'd be carrying that to work. Hi, Lindiana. And on Terry, Nancy, Lindiana, Delphina, Fixation Fiber, Holly. I'm just checking everybody who's here. I think I've got everybody. Oh, and I don't know. Okay, I'm probably saying this wrong. Get Lavrigen. It sounds Dutch, maybe, or Norwegian. And Janice is here. Rhonda. Okay. We have a good crew. I think we had a few more on the first go at this. All right. So now that I have the flap the right way, I'm now going to top stitch all the way around the sewn edge on the exterior. And also, I think I was also saying on my first live is that I don't have my website anymore. Nothing was selling. And you know what? The economy is so bad for everybody, everywhere, unfortunately. But I created a new Facebook group. So my main, if you're not a member of it, my main Facebook group is Tree 60 Handmade Bags on Facebook. Please join if you haven't joined. The link will be in the description box below. And then I just created a new Facebook group the other day, and it's called 360 Handmade Bags for Sale. So that Facebook group is where I'm using it as a website myself. And I spent the other day finally dragging all my bags out. I took pictures of everything, and I created posts in that 360 Handmade Bags for Sale Facebook group, and created posts for each bag that I made with the pictures. And I also included the link to the tutorial when I made that particular bag. And then I got them posted all over the place. I posted those links in the bag designers, where the bag's from, and whatever. Okay, we have the flap now sewn the right way. So I've got my center marked, and we can clip that on. Actually, I'm going to put and of course your magnetic snaps will click, and I want to make sure that that's centered. I'm just going to put double-sided tape across the top edge, the top raw edge of the flap. I didn't baste it shut because we're going to be sewing it on. All right, so I'm going to line up my centers. So with the right side of your slip pocket and back or front pocket, and then the right side up of your flap, line up your centers. Well, clip your magnetic snaps together. Mine went together quite nicely. And then clip that. Well, I don't have to clip. I've got double-sided tape here along the raw edge, making sure that that lines up and it's even. Okay, so it's double-sided tape across here. Then I'm going to take pattern piece B, the front and back upper panels. You've cut 4 main exteriors. So I've got 4 of my dragon scale ones. And then you're going to place, so there's the top edge. And you're going to take the straight edge, mark your centers, and you're going to put that straight edge right sides together on top of your flap, and then you're going to clip right across that top edge. Okay, and then we're going to stitch across this top edge at the seam allowance in the pattern. And that'll sew your flap on. Like, this is a fast bag to make if you're not making mistakes and having to use Jack the Seam Ripper. And again, my stitch length is at a 3. Now, if you're using the seam allowance in the pattern, then you can trim off your excess, but I'm not. Mine's 1/4 of an inch. So you're going to push this front panel up, and then you're going to, and what that does when you push the top panel up, your seam allowance will now naturally go up towards the top of the bag, and then we're going to top stitch across this folded edge on the upper edge of it, and that'll catch the seam, your sewn seam allowance in the back here. And catch that and sew it down. And Holly's patterns are all, they're really amazing patterns. You've seen the tutorial I did for the Andy backpack, and then also the Lucy long wallet. So I'm hoping to do other bags for her for tutorials. Okay. So there is our front panel so far. I gotta watch what I'm doing because I got my tablet is angled right down, so it's hard for me to see what I'm doing. I have to squish myself down. Okay, and top stitch. So we've done that. So flip my page. Okay. All right, so I've already done my, so we're just going to put this aside for the moment. And I've already done my D-ring connectors, or rectangle ring connectors. So I say this in my tutorial as well. I don't typically carry rectangle rings in stock. What I use is the 1-inch wide tri-glide, you know, with the bar in the center that moves, and I take my pliers and pull the bar off, and I get that's how I get my rectangle rings. So what we're going to do is we're going to take pattern piece G, the side panels, and you have 2 exterior cut for those. And then I'm just going to put double-sided tape along. I'm just looking to see what side I want up. Okay, so if I put them that way, they go up like that. Okay. I'm going to put double-sided tape along the back of the connector. I'm going to make sure that mine are both the same size. That one's got to be trimmed. Not quite as... No, these aren't very good scissors. I bought these at the Dollar Tree. They're pretty bad. Not good scissors. Okay. And then we're going to center, mark your centers on this top short edge. So you have a wider edge at the bottom. And then I'm just going to put my rectangle ring connectors, and I'm going to have them peeking up slightly above the top end. I'm not going to have them flush, just so that I know that they're going to get stitched in. And we're going to clip those on and then repeat for the other one. And I'll put this one into, okay, that's centered. So I'm just going to baste across the 2 of them here. Make sure that they're sitting straight. Sometimes I've thought mine were straight and they've been they get pushed out of alignment from the presser foot, from what I was mentioning earlier. And also, before I forget, mark your calendars for Thursday, July 23rd, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, my time, Ellie from Sawdust and Stitches and I are going to be doing a live. I haven't created the notification yet, but Ellie and I are going to be going live, and we're going to be doing the Veronica. It's hard to see. Oh, there it is. Okay. And we're going to be doing from Shambhala, we're going to be doing the Veronica. So I've already done a tutorial on this, and then Ellie and I are going to go live and do another Veronica. So mark that down. I'll be sending out the notification this week. And all right, so there we have our two rectangle ring connectors attached. Then we're going to take pattern piece E, which is your base, and it is the bottom panel. So you have an exterior and you have one lining. So we're just going to put the lining aside for the moment. Now, what I do is, because now I didn't interface, as I said, any of my pattern pieces, because this is, excuse me, I've worked with this faux leather before, and it is thick. However, I did want the base to be a little bit more significant. So what I did was I used the pattern piece for the base interfacing. But if you, so here's ways to not have to buy stuff. If you get stuff like a box of whatever, an order that has this type of foam in it, save it and use it for your foam. It's very flexible. It works great. Another thing that I've used is I've gone to the dollar store, Dollarama or Dollar Tree we have here, and they have cheap yoga mats there. And the foam, it's foam, and it's not super thick. Get that and use that for your foam as well, instead of buying specialized foams or anything like that. So, I mean, this was free. I got this. This was part of, I can't remember what we got. I think it was probably a coffee maker. And I've used that. So what we're going to do is right side up of the base, take one of your ends, and you're going to take the wide end and you're going to line it up with the one edge of the base, clip, and then repeat for the other side. And I'll do them both at the same time. I didn't mark my centers on here because the corners, the pattern pieces match perfectly, which I love. Okay, so I'm going to stitch across here and this one, and then we're going to flip and top stitch. And I apologize for the sniffing. Allergy season has been bad this year. I don't normally get affected, but I guess with the wildfire smoke and the poor air quality, cripes, last week it was so bad. Our skies here were all dark orange. Thunder Bay is burning, and that is on the top end of Lake Superior of the Great Lakes. And so it was all being blown from the northwest to here, and it's Thunder Bay is about 2 days drive from me. And then Toronto, which is 2 hours south of me, had the worst air quality in the world. And like I said, all of our communities up north are devastated by our wildfires. So lots of prayers are needed, because they're burning, and people's and towns have burnt down as a result of them. And it's climate change. Climate change is, the culprit. So unfortunately, we haven't been very good stewards of our planet. That's just my little hype. Okay, why is that shifting? Oh, darn it. Okay, I used that Walmart glue, and it's crappy glue. Okay, I gotta glue my base back on. Okay, like I said, everything's happening today. Oh, that's not going to do any. It's not going to stick. It's still wet. Well, I'll stick it back on. And I'll top stitch this glue on my hands. Okay, so I want to go that way. Should use my Beacons Fabri-Tac. I can trust that. Okay. All right, so there's our base. We have our 2 rectangle rings, and then we have the base sewn to the sides. All right, so now we have to mark our centers on our both edges of our base. So I line up my 2 seams and then clip my centers. Hi, Catherine. Catherine lives about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of me. This is not sticking. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. Alrighty, so we've done that. We've done the base. Okay, mark the centers on the bottom panel and sew along the sides. All right, so now we're going to be attaching. Okay, I'm just going to go and I'm going to do some decorative stitching on this base so that I can hold this foam in place. It's not staying. Okay, let me see what my seam allowance is going to be. But I need it to stay. So everything you plan to do, it doesn't work out. Use better glue than Walmart fabric glue, believe me. Jeez. What a mess. All right. I'm not putting purse feet on this bottom either. Maybe I should. Oh, crap. That didn't work. This stuff shifted so much and so badly. I'm sorry, guys. Look at this. What a mess. All right, seam ripper out again. I'm sorry, Holly. I apologize for this because I had this all down pat and perfect. I hope everybody has lots of time today to hang out. It's just one of those days where everything's falling apart. I'm just going to cut a new base. I'm taking the sides off and I'm just going to cut a new base and I'm not going to worry about the foam. So much for that. Live TV, you guys get to see the mistakes that we still make. I hope I have enough of this sunflower Most happen. Thanks, Nancy. Most things happen in threes. So okay, I don't want a third one happening. This is terrible. This is well, and I'm such an anal perfectionist, and I hate when anything doesn't go according to plan. Like I said, you can plan your whole thing, and all right. I am going to be throwing this base out. I'm just quickly cutting a new one. Glue everywhere, all over me. All right, and then we'll take this one off as well. Actually, so let me cut that off. Cut that base off and then unstitch it. Throw it out. It's garbage. To make sure that my needle's not gummed up with glue now. I'd had that base drying for several hours, actually, when I was prepping everything early this morning. Duct tape. Yeah, I could use duct tape. I use that a lot for the base, for stabilizing, because it does work good. And my duct tape is Gorilla Tape, so it's pretty heavy duty. All right, almost there, guys. And honestly, it is an easy bag to make, but when your things start working out, okay. All right, well, that's okay. So that's three things then, Nancy. So the first link that we were on, the audio went for whatever reason. Then the second thing was the flap that I sewed wrong. And now this one. Okay, I don't have enough of that solid sunflower, so I'm going to do the base in my dragon scale fabric. And I do old school cutting. I trace, just so in case you guys didn't know, I laminate when I print my patterns. I print each sheet, and then I have a little cheapy desktop laminator from Amazon. And I have the laminating sheets, and I put each page in a laminating sheet, run it through, and then I cut all my pattern pieces. And then if they need to be taped together, I use clear packing tape. So then you have a template, and you get to use your patterns over and over again. So I use that as a template, and your pattern, if it's paper, it's not paper, so it doesn't, it lasts. And you have a little bit of an edge there to trace your pattern piece out. Now this dragon scale is thicker, so I'm not going to worry about a base. Okay. Let's start this again. There's our base, our pattern piece E. So we're going to take our side panels. We're going to clip them back on, right sides together along this edge. And I'm going to sew them on, and then I'm going to top stitch. Put that seam ripper away. I hope I don't see it again today. Anyways, that'll look kind of nice to have the base looking like that. Okay, and I just want to get a baby wipe, not only to wipe my hands off with, but also to wipe my needle down to make sure that I don't have any glue on it. All right, there we go. Okay, let's go back to this and sew these side panels. Anyone else? Oh, hi, Donna. Yeah, I'm not gifted like Barbie is, Donna, when she does her cutting out videos, and she can use a paper pattern and use her rotary cutter and cut all around it. I'd be cutting my fingers. I'd be cutting the pattern. Yeah, it wouldn't. I'd rather make the pattern, you know, laminate them and have some kind of a template. All right, we've got it, the base sewn back on. And then we're just going to go back and fold them up, and then we're going to top stitch them again. And then we'll be right back where we were. So at least the top stitching, I'm going back over my stitch marks from the sides. All right, we're right back where I was. Because it had to go crazy in one fast and easy lesson. So I've had my three. Let's 3 mishaps. Let's hope that's it. Okay, now we have the base sewn. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my 2 top stitched edges so that they're even, and then I'm going to mark my centers on the both sides of the base, because now we're going to be attaching this onto our sides. But we have to take our, okay, so back to pattern piece A and your other exterior for the back. I must have missed that. 10, page 9. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this, where are those pattern pieces? Okay, so my back panel, and then another pattern piece B, and we're going to lay right sides together, match up your centers, and we're going to stitch this across and flip it and top stitch for the back, and then we'll be ready to attach our gusset and base. Okay, and then we'll just flip it and top stitch. This is going, I love the size of this one. I mean, I love the Diva size too, but this is going to be a nice size for every day. Okay, so now we have our back. So fold your top edges here for the top panel piece that we added. Mark your center up here. And make sure that your center is marked on the bottom as well. On the back piece, and now our front piece where we have our flap and our slip pocket. So I've got that one marked, and I just have to mark this one. All right, so I'm going to start with the back, and we're just going to be clipping and sewing. I want to make sure I'm in the right spot now. Okay. Side panel piece, mark center, bottom, match up center, top, side panel. Okay, so we're attaching right sides together. We're centering the base, matching our centers, and I'll clip along the straight edge. And then I'm going to go up to the side edges here, and I'm going to attach the match the corners up here and clip. And we may have to snip into the gusset as we go around. So let me do the other side as well. All right sides together. There, that's better lighting there. I have my light out of the way. Okay. Yeah, the this dragon skin sparkly is from Sam Fabric. And when I redo the description box after I finish this live, then I'll be adding all the links that were originally in our other link. All right, so I just have to snip into into the gusset, just little 1/8 of an inch snips around the curve. And I splay mine open, and then we will fit that in this way. Okay, and then the same with this one. I have to snip into the gusset. Thanks, Nancy. Now, yeah, so, and of course, don't forget, I'll be adding it in the description box, is that Louise is still having a sale until July 31st on all the fabric at Sam Fabric Creation. So when I post the link again in the description box, it'll have the codes to use depending on how much you spend. And her fabrics are wonderful to use. And she's such a very generous person. Okay, so I have that base all clipped to the back, and then I'm just going to stitch around at the seam allowance in the pattern. Make sure your rectangle rings are out of your stitching line. Come on, get up there. Oops. Okay, got a back stitch here. All right. And I'm not a fast sewer. sorry. All right. And then we will repeat for the front panel. Oh, my centers are marked. Okay. So again, right sides. Hi, Ida Wise or Ida Wise from Ireland. Welcome aboard. All right, so we're going to match the centers again on the bottom edge and clip. I usually edit all of this out of my tutorials because it's like we all know how to clip. All right, line up your top edges. Oh boy. And then after we do this, we're going to work on our lining. So we'll be doing a zipper pocket in the lining, and then this bag, now the Diva has it, what the heck is it? A slip pocket. So I'm still doing a slip pocket in this one. All right, well, that seems to work a little better. Just snip some of this. I'd asked my brother Rob, my ceiling fan above here is really super old, and I use the Philips daylight bulbs in it so that I have that white daylight light instead of a yellow lighting, which I hate. And so it's such an old ceiling fan. And one of the, it has the 3 globes in it. And one of the globes, one of the lights flickers now. So anyways, I had to take the light bulb out, and then I ordered one of those ones. It hugs the ceiling, and it has the built-in fan and the built-in light, and the light is a nice, remote and everything, and just a small ceiling fan. And I asked my brother if he would come and install it for me and take the old one out. And he said to me yesterday when we were at my mom's 89th birthday party yesterday, he says, "Oh, Tree, I'm going to come tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock to install your ceiling fan," which is just above my head. I said, "Oh, sorry. No, you're not. I have a live to do." So, all right, we've got the front clipped, and we're going to stitch that on now. Anyhow, he would have been working over my head while I was trying to do this live, making all my mistakes. And he's a civilian on a Canadian Forces Base Borden, where we grew up, because my dad was in the military and was a machinist in the military with the Royal Canadian Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. And my brother's teaching the same course to the as a civilian, not military, but to the young guys in the military, joined up to the military. He's teaching the same course that my dad wrote and taught at the same RENE school back in the 70s. So anyhow, and what he does is he teaches sewing, and they have Juki Industrials, and he teaches sewing to the guys, because they need to know how to fix their clothing if they're, if they need to know how to sew to fix things. So, and one of the things that he has them do right from the start is we're all brought up to be anal perfectionists, and he can't stand to have a messy or dirty work area. So he has them all, when they first start, make sure that the wheels on your chair are cleaned of thread. How many of us have thread all in our wheels? And he makes sure that they have like a little garbage can right on their workstation, so that they can put all of their clippings and thread clippings in that, and that if anything goes on the floor, they are responsible for cleaning that up right away. Anyhow, just a little aside as I'm sewing my brains out here. Okay, our exterior is done. Okay, so I'm just going to take my painting shears, and I'm just going to trim down the edges, just about 1/8 of an inch, to help turn those corners and get it through the fabric. It's a little thick down here. Okay, there. I'll just do it around the corners. Yeah, so yesterday was today's my mom's actual 89th birthday. And but we had a family party at my brother Rob's yesterday for her. So still very thankful that she's here. Oh, I gotta do the other side too. Sorry about that. And we just moved her in 2 months ago to independent retirement living. So she's made some friends there that are her age, which is nice. And she can get involved with stuff that's going on there. Hi, Rip It and So Mona, how are you? You missed all the fun with all the mistakes I've been making. Jack the Seam Rippers had a good workout today. Alrighty, let's turn this bag and we'll see the exterior. Oh, okay, well, it's 12:30, so it's been an hour and a half with all the mistakes and having to reset a new link and all that fun stuff. So oh, I love the size of this bag, Holly, if you're still here. Love the size of this bag. This is a nice everyday size. Okay. You know, your seams aren't going to be all pushed out very well yet, but Mona says, yeah, that's how I learn my mistakes. You got your Jesus on. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And it, you know, and adding that as the bottom is great. So there's so far our flap with a large, generous slip pocket, way bigger than my Samsung S25 Ultra. And there's the back. And then the side panels. All right, let's get working on the lining pieces. So your pattern piece A, you had the 2 exterior, the front and back, and the 2 lining pieces. So I'm going to, I've got a zipper pocket to make, and then right now we're going to work on our slip pocket. So the way I do my slip pocket is I draw a line down each side 3/4 of an inch. I've got 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape. And then we're going to fold those raw edges to the line. I've made slip pockets where you sew it up and then you turn it, where you sew it right sides together, trim the corners, and then you turn it right side out. And my corners are never crisp. I've never had good luck with it. Nothing's ever even. And I like doing them this way. All right, so then we're going to take just a halfway up on each side, just some double-sided tape just within that fold line. It doesn't have to be measured or anything like that. And then we're just going to take corner to corner and fold up these sides. Make sure that your folded edges match and are even together. The only thing with this method, you get a lot of air caught in the slip pocket. Okay. One thing I like about this waterproof canvas, there's no PVC backing on this one, so it's a lot thinner. It's about a 400 denier. Is that when I fingernail press, when you put a crease in it, it stays. It's wonderful, and it's great for card slots. All right, so now I've overkill a piece of exterior to do a facing or a overlay on top. So I'm just going to trim this down because I knew it was going to be too long. And I've got a center mark and double-sided tape on either side. And then just lay that that facing wrong side up. Take the raw edge of your slip pocket and line that up just slightly below that line. And then take your edges, mine are a little over, and then I fold them so that the two edges meet on both sides. And one's not sitting longer than the other. And then I pull it and then lay my facing down. All right, so then I'm going to stitch up from the raw edge at a 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to do another stitch line of 1/8 of an inch. And that'll help secure this on, and make sure that you catch it on the back side as well, because a lot of times I've made these and I haven't caught that stitching on the other side. No one's going to see this anyways. It's inside, unless they're really looking at it. All right, then take your scissors and trim those ends down. Isn't this pretty? The colors are so pretty and they go so well with that exterior, both colors. All right, so just trim those ends down. And then what I like to do, not only do I like to burn my threads, but I also take the lighter and burn the ends of the vinyl and squish them together, because that kind of seals them shut. Okay. Mark your centers on your lining, which I thought I had all this done. Okay, and then, oh, there's my ruler. So with your lining side, right side up, just line up your ruler, and I'm just going to go down about an inch, 3/4 of an inch from the top. And then I'm just going to make a crease in that top facing and line that up. Actually, I'm going to come up about 1/2 an inch, 1/2 an inch from the top edge, because this is longer, which is okay. Do it this way, I can see it better. So on the petite, she didn't have the slip pocket in the pattern, but I'm putting it in, and I'm lining up my centers there, and painter's tape just across the top edge to hold it in place. You could put double-sided tape along the bottom. Okay, and then I'm just going to stitch all the way around those 3 edges. I mean, we've all made these before. And it'd just be an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance I'm using. Oops. I shot my stitch. Okay, so talk about the bobbin running out. This is 4 now. That's not fair. Oh, at least I have one already on the go. Ready to go. Wound. Thank God I wasn't doing top stitching on a strap or something. Where's my purse? All right. Back to here. A lot of times I'm lucky with the bobbin chicken. I run out right after I finished sewing what I need to sew. Okay. And I saved my painter's tape or masking tape. All right, so there's our little slip pocket. Now what I'm going to be doing is taking one of the all right, just let me see what we've got here. 8, 10, 11. Okay, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to take the remaining pattern piece B pieces because they get attached up here anyway. Mark my centers. Oh, I already did on both pieces. So I'm going to put one aside and I'm going to attach this one to my zipper panel or my slip pocket edge. Is everybody good to stay for a little while longer? Okay, I'm going to stitch that across and then we'll flip it and top stitch. That's not right. Hi, Kathy. Okay, I've messed up again. Didn't go very far. Sorry, guys. Honest, I do know what I'm doing. This gets attached on with the zipper recessed zipper pieces. So I've got to still make them. Okay, so we just have the one lining piece with our slip pocket on. We're not worrying about that pattern piece at the moment. And then the other side, we're going to do a zipper pocket with the other lining piece. So I have, Holly has it a certain way in the pattern, and I'm going to do it this way. This is the zipper pocket. We have to keep the bottom open. So I've cut my zipper in half, and I've drawn my zipper box onto the lining. So I'm going to line up the top edge of the zipper box, the lining piece, and I'm going to stitch around the zipper box like we usually do. I'm reducing my stitch length to a 2. I like using a small stitch length when doing my zipper boxes. So the zipper box, of course, we know is on the wrong side. So we have our 2 right sides together. This is going to be a little pocket. Okay. All right. And then we're just going to cut into that zipper box. Just trying to see if I've caught everybody. I think I've said hi to everybody. I said hi to Kathy. All right, so we're just going to cut down the center line on our zipper box. I mean, we're all bag makers. We all know this. And of course, then cut your triangles out. Don't cut your corner stitches. All right, and then what I do is I put double-sided tape. That's the 2-inch. So double-sided tape, I put all around this side, all around the zipper box, leaving enough room so that when I turn it, the seam allowance isn't in the way. And then this just helps me when I push the lining to the other side. It just helps me keep it on because I don't iron this. If you have cotton or anything like that, of course, you know, you do iron them crisp, but all right, then shove all that towards the back. I'm just going to clip this bottom piece so it stays out of the way. And then I'll work on the top edge. Okay, Donna says, I hear you, Nancy. My daughter-in-law requested a summer bag, whatever that is. It took a while for me to decide what vinyl to use. I'll do vinyl then leather. Oh, okay. What bag pattern did you decide upon, Donna? For the summer bag. This is a great summer bag. This will look great. Be a great fall bag too, with the fall colors. With the golds. I wonder if she has this dragon scale fabric in like a nice bright fall red, maple leaf red. Okay. Oh, there goes Murphy outside barking as usual. Like I said before, he's cute. He's lucky he's cute, but he is a barker. All right, so there is my zipper box done. Now I have my double-sided tape already on my zipper. And my zipper pull on, because I've done this too. I've put it on, the zipper on, and forgot the zipper pull. All right, so that I always cut my zipper longer, but pretty much my lining on either side, I center that on, because I know I'll be trimming my zipper down. Oops, come on, get in there. There he goes. Sometimes this does go on easy, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, and I'm just going to stitch around my zipper. I still have my stitch length added too, and I'm not pulling my threads to the back. This is on the inside, so I'm not worrying about that. Oops, popped out. Okay, so I've got my zipper sewn in, and I'm just going to flip it over to this side, and I'm going to cut that zipper tape down. At this point in time, pull off your double-sided tape that you've used, because we need to have these edges loose now. I don't worry about the bottom edge, because that'll just stay put. All right, and then I'll just trim down my zippers. Catherine says, look out, squirrels. Yeah. That's what he's barking at. He barks at anything that moves. He's a terrier. He's a terror terrier. He's just a Heinz 57 terrier mix. Like I always say, he's lucky he's cute. Yeah, he's got every kind of terrier in him you can think of, including Jack Russell and Schnauzer. And all right, so with the zipper lining side up, of course, we know we'll line up our top edges. Actually, I'm just going to take, I'm going to do my sides first, because we'll base that top edge onto the top edge of the lining. So I'm just going to actually clip everything together. So I'm clipping the lining and all of these layers of the zipper pocket lining. And then clip the sides of your zipper pocket lining only. And we're leaving the bottom open. So I'm going to take the bottom edge and I'm just going to fold it up about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to clip it, and then we'll be stitching that, and that'll give me a good basis for when after we turn the bag and I stitch up this hole. Okay, so I'm just going to be stitching down the sides here, and I'll start at the top edge, and I'll catch this triangle, and I'll back stitch over my zipper teeth, and then I'll kind of graduate out to a 1/4 of an inch, and the same on this side, and then I'll stitch the entire top edge closed. Oh, there goes my thread. Here we go again. Yeah, my machine does not like going over zipper teeth. Come on, get in there. And it even does it with Tech 70. I've adjusted my presser foot tension as well. But oh, all right, let's try this again. And I want it wider at the bottom. We want to be able to put more stuff in our purse, in our pockets. Go down the other side. Missing anything? Yes, the Merglow embossed. Yeah, she has some nice like oceany color, like tealy colors, and but take advantage of her sale before the end of July. She originally had it on just for Canada Day, which is July 1st, and then you're in the U.S. Independence Day, but then she extended it to July 31st. All right, so I'm just basting the top, all the layers across the top. Okay, so there's our zipper pocket. Hello. Keep your zipper pocket open. Make sure you keep it open. All right, where are we now? Okay, so I've already done the zipper pocket. All right, so now we're going to start working on our our recessed zipper panels before we do anything further. So the first thing, of course, is our zipper. And we're doing the Butler method, the 90-degree turn. We all know how to do it, so I'm not going to explain it. I'll just do it. I could have had this done ahead of time. Doesn't want to go. There we go. Okay, and then I'll just stitch these guys on. Okay. It's the only time I ever use pins. Does anybody else not use pins anymore either? I love the clips. I have my windows open. It's nice and cool out today. At least we're not smelling the smoke like we were the other day. All right, so I've got my 90 degrees zipper done, and I'm just going to pull that apart for now, put it aside. So you have your recessed zipper panels. You have 2 exterior and then 2 lining. So I do mine differently than what Holly has in the pattern. On each end, each short end, I mean, I've used the same pattern measurement that she's doing. I draw a 3/4 inch line on each end. And then you have double-sided tape on each end, and then you fold into each end. So I've done that. You fold to each end to the line. So I've done that with all of them. And I'll take my clips off because I was holding them on so they don't pop open. And I've done that all on the lining. And the idea is that these lining pieces should all sort of meet and match together. All right, so I'm going to take one of my exterior and I'm going to run double-sided tape across the top edge. And then I'm going to take, okay, so this one I've got the curve on the left side. And of course, you know, your teeth right side down. And these teeth line up on with the raw edge on the underside. So you have like 1/4 inch on that side. And then line that up, the top edge of your zipper with your fabric. Double-sided tape across the top edge again. And then with your lining piece right sides together. Make sure that when you start, you're starting where the zipper is and that your 2 folded edges match. And then attach that raw edge all up along the top edge of the zipper. And then theoretically, if you cut right, and I'm not a very good cutter, your folded edge of your lining should be the same length as the folded edge of your exterior. And mine aren't, which I know happens. So I'm just going to now undo the folded edge of the lining and then fold it a little bit more so that it matches the exterior. And then I'm going to do the same for the other side. But this time, when we put the other side of the zipper on, which you guys all know anyways, the curved edge is now on my right side. And I'll line that up, the teeth up with that, where the folded edge ends here. And then double-sided tape across the top edge again. Okay, we've been on for 2 hours. Everybody's still good to stay? Please say yes. Okay, and then take the other lining, and I'll start on the right side now and ensure that my two folded edges match and are even. Go across the top edge of the zipper. And then make sure the other two folded edges on the other end are even, and they're not. So I'll undo that. Everybody's good? Yay, you guys are wonderful. Thank you. We could have been done that right now without all those mistakes, but oh well. It's like I said, it's live. All right, so I'm just going to stitch across this, and then I'm going to flip it, and then we're going to top stitch and baste those edges. I'm going to flip out. I want to get a good zipper coverage, so I'm just going to put my zipper foot on, because it does get it in a little closer than this foot that I use here. Ouch, I just pricked myself. Okay. And then we're going to, oh, shoot, that's not what I wanted. Okay. I thought I was installing my other foot, my narrow foot. Oh well. All right, that worked pretty good. All right, and then do the same for the other side. Stitch from this side. Figure out how the zip foot goes. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to switch back my foot. I don't use my zipper foot that often, and because I don't like taking the, call me lazy, I don't know. I just don't like taking the time to have to switch these things in and out all the time. All right, so before we fold these, I take the corners from each end and trim these corners off. And then you can trim this corner off here together. Okay, and then of course we flip it all and top stitch. flip, clip, and top stitch. That's what I always say. How's everybody doing? While I'm clipping away. Hi, Annette. Did I say hi to everybody? If I didn't say hi to you, please let me know, because I can watch the comments as I'm clipping this. This is the, like I say, in my tutorials, I usually edit this out. I like to do the romper room thing and acknowledge people, especially when you take the time out of your day to spend with me making mistakes. But you know what? We're all not perfect. So I don't know if Holly's still here. I know she said she was able to take a little bit of time because at first she wasn't able to make it. So, so with my lives, you know, the other ones I've scheduled recently, I scheduled them not realizing or getting the notifications that Barbie and Lori, you know, Jeannie's Designs and Wild Pony had scheduled lives, because I wasn't getting notifications from Facebook for the group. So just as an aside, also on Facebook, in your groups, if you don't think you're getting your notifications, or even to check to be on the safe side, go into your notification setting, because Facebook has been doing some updates. Well, they're always doing updates. And they change your notification settings from seeing all back to the default, which is just highlights. So you'll want to make sure that you check it and make sure that all the your notifications are set to see all. All right, so I'm just going to top stitch across the folded edge and baste all around the well, the sides will be top stitched as well, because they're the nice folded edges as well. So we're just going to baste across the bottom and then top stitch everything else. Honestly, I can see myself definitely carrying this bag. It is a cute bag and I love the size. Okay, and then on to the other one. Alrighty. Okay, so there are our recessed zipper pieces. So I'm going to take one of my linings and I'm going to take one of my recessed zipper pieces And they go right side up. We have to still mark our centers. So line up your folded edges, your sewn edges now. Mark your centers. Okay, so now I like my zipper closing to the right. And I'm just going to look inside the Diva. Okay, so I have the slip pocket. Okay, this is how I want it. So I like to have my bag closing to the right. So on the lining side with the zipper pocket, and I'll open that after. I want the, you're going to put these right side up. And I want the piece that has the zipper curve on my right side. And then I'm going to put double-sided tape across the top edge. So I've got the right side of the lining up and the right side of my zipper recessed zipper facing, and for me I have the zipper curve on my right side. If you want your zipper closing to the left, then put this piece on that has the curve to the left. And then we're going to take one of our pattern piece B's. Yeah. And we've already got our centers marked, and then we're going to put that right side together with everything. And then we're going to flip. And then we'll repeat for the other side. It's a nice breeze coming in here. And can you hear the birds? I know you can hear them on my tutorials. And it's such a happy sound. I love listening to the birds. All right, so I've got the other lining with the zipper, with the slip pocket, because I want the slip pocket at the front of my bag. So I'm going to put double-sided tape across the top edge of the lining. Catherine, have your leaves started to change color up north? I know around the middle of July here, we always start seeing our leaves starting to change. Okay, so with the zipper panel right side up, and on this piece, the curve is on my left side. I'm going to match my centers, line up the top edge. Okay, and then right sides together with the top liner there, and match centers and clip. Oops, double-sided tape's almost running out. And then we're going to stitch across this whole thing at the seam allowance in the pattern, and then we're going to flip it and top stitch it a certain way. Oh, yeah, Nicole says, oh, hi, Nicole, I didn't realize you were here. Yeah, I love listening to the birds, too. They're so happy, and we have some woods behind us here, and then on the other side is a golf course. But I just love listening to them. Way back in my younger days, I used to breed canaries. So, oh, I love birds. But where we are here, we don't get a super huge variety of them. If we had some cedars, okay, move my zipper, we'd have more cardinals and the colorful songbirds. Okay, so move my zipper pocket or zipper pull. And of course, I have bird feeders out there, and I was filling it with seed, trying to get the nice colorful birds. And those little cheeky chipmunks and squirrels and the crows and the grackles, they all seem to know how to get at the seed. Okay, so I'm going to fold this up. So now we have our zipper facing, and I'm going to fold this up and top stitch on both sides. Increase my stitch length back to a 3. I hadn't increased my stitch length. So we'll top stitch that. Like I said, when you don't make mistakes, everything it goes by fast. Now you could do the top stitching the other way that Nicole has, or sorry, that Holly has in the pattern. I'm doing it this way. I can fold that up again. So in this bag, I'm hoping you can see it. When I did it the way Holly had it in the pattern for the recessed zipper, it kind of sits up, and I want it to sit a little further down. So I'm doing it this way, whereas in the pattern it's different. So that when it's open, the zipper facing will sit down and not have a peak in it. And you guys do you. When you get this pattern, and you have to get this pattern. I mean, there's 2 bag sizes in the pattern, so it's a great, great to have the two different sizes without having to reprint the pattern at a smaller percentage kind of thing. All right. Now make sure that your zipper is open on your lining, because you want to make sure that you're going to be able to turn it. Okay, so take your pattern piece H, your interior side panel pocket. You have 2 exterior. Pattern piece I, your interior side panel bottom. You have 2 lining. Oops, lost my piece. All right, so this is going to create the gusset. So we're going to take the wider edge of the top part, and we're going to put it together with the edge that matches. Just clip that, and then we'll do that here. And then we'll stitch across, and then flip it and top stitch. Yeah, the fold, she has in the pattern that the fold goes up, but I'm doing it this way, and I want to see how it works out. All right, so then I'm just going to flip these and top stitch across that folded line, that folded edge. In the tutorial for the Diva size, I did it the other way. I folded everything up, including the zipper placket. Okay, and then I'm going to take my base lining piece and clip all those together, clip those 2 longer edges together. Right sides together, of course. Okay, and I'll stitch them and flip them and top stitch. Oh. There goes the clip. My window's right there, so it's good. It catches it. It doesn't go flying in behind. And then just top stitch. Okay, match your centers with your two bottom piece seams, or not match them, cut your centers. All right, and then we're going to the same as the top part. Make sure, like I said, make sure that the zipper pocket is open. And then I'm going to right sides together, clip everything. And then we're going to sew the gusset onto the front and back panels. And then your seams should match front and back here. And everything's matching, so that's a good thing. Okay, and the same for the other side. Make sure you watch your zipper tails, that they don't get caught in your stitch seam allowance. So I'm just watching your comments about how I top stitched that fold, that facing down. I've also created for my zipper, I've created a long tab to grab hold of using this type of a zipper pull from Waywack. So I wanted to see, I know and we all know, you know, we're all bag makers, and Holly had it written the way you guys are all saying I should be doing it. I wanted just to see how it works this way, because I have a feeling the Aspen from EMMALINE bags is that way. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch around all of this. My clips are getting caught. Oh, there goes another clip. Got to make sure that zipper tail is out of the way. Now, one of the things that I forgot to mention was, of course, we all know when we're sewing our seam allowance around our linings, make sure you do a smaller seam allowance after you start with the the seam allowance in the pattern at the top, and then make a larger seam allowance as you go down the sides so that the bag will fit better. The lining will fit better inside. All right, clip the other side on, right sides together. Okay, and oh, Catherine says, I hate when commercials come on and miss what you were talking about. Okay, I don't know. What was I talking about? I do a lot of talking. Sorry, guys. I do talk a lot. Always been accused of that. So, oh well. I think, Catherine, what I was saying was that we all know that when we sew up our lining, when we put all of our lining pieces together, that we sew a larger seam allowance after we start at the seam allowance in the pattern, so that it winds up being that the lining fits better inside the bag. I had forgot to mention that, but you guys know that stuff. All right, and then I will sew this up as well. Motorcycles. Okay. There, we're all sewn up. I'm just going to take my pinking shears to those edges, trim down the seam allowance, especially around those curves. Oops. How many have we got watching? Oh, we have 27 watching. I think that's the most I've ever had. But you know what amazes me is, you know, I can publish a tutorial, a recorded tutorial, and I get, I don't know, say 300 to 400 views over time, and probably more later on. But when I do a live, I don't understand. I don't know why. But, you know, you have a certain amount of people watching live. And then afterwards, when I check it afterwards, the views are exponential. Like people just watch the lives. I don't know why, because there's, you see all my mistakes. You hear me gabbing constantly. Okay, we are now going to take our exterior. I want to work these seams better. roll them. Before I do anything, I think I'm going to see if I put my zipper in first. Okay, like I said, watch your zipper tails. I can just see that I just got one of my zipper ends caught in my stitching, but it frayed, so I can trim it off. Okay. Okay, I'm going to just line up my zipper teeth, line up my two corners, and clip my zipper teeth. No, never mind. I gotta leave that open. All right. Okay, so this is the front of my bag, and I want my zipper closing on this side. So this goes inside this way. No, this way. It's closing that way. So my front, yes, that's the way. So my exterior right side out goes into the lining. Yeah, inside. Rub it all in. So I have it closing to the right, hopefully. And then we will clip it all, and then we will stitch it. All right, so match your centers. I have them clipped. And your sides. Your rectangle rings, of course, have to go down inside. Line up your seams on the sides, and you can nest your, of course we know this, but you can nest your seam allowance or splay them open. Mine seem to want to nest, so I'll do that. Sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. It's just the angle of my camera. Make sure those rectangle rings stay down. So you don't want them caught in your stitching. Okay. And I love it when pattern pieces all meet up evenly. I love it. Because I know I'm not the greatest cutter. I've said this before, I would make a lousy quilter. I'd have to get one of those AccuQuilt die cutting machines, just like I used to have die cutting machines when I made, when I used to do card baking. Alrighty, all clipped. I'm going to now stitch it from the inside at the seam allowance in the pattern. No turning, no pulling threads to the back. Don't need to do that. And we're almost done, guys. Yay! Just appreciate you all being here. Go around the curves. This bag has really nice curves on the top too. Very sharp. And then after we birth this, then we'll be top stitching it. putting the zipper on and doing the strap. There, how's that, guys? That a little better. You can see what I'm sort of doing. Almost done. Okay, we're going to turn it. Let's hope that this works through this little tiny zipper pocket. Squish it all. It's a little pocket. That's why I did the drop lining on the larger version, the Diva. Well, plus the fact that it was leather. Oh, come on, get in there. Oh, smokes. Somebody texting me, which I can't answer. There we go. Now it's moving. I'm very happy that this fabric is very pliable. If I had done any interfacing, it wouldn't have been as good to work it out. And definitely a drop lining is something to drop-in lining is something to consider as well. Okay. Yay. Now, you've probably heard me say this in my tutorials, but one thing you can do to help your seams is put some towels or tea towels in a hot dry, get them hot in a dryer. And then when you pull them out of the dryer, stuff your bag solid, and that'll help with your seams as well. So let's see how this is all fitting. Noisy. Oh, that's right. Okay, it's got to go down this way. Oh, I was like, oh no, did I do something wrong again? But it's got to be folded down this way, down here. This part always scares me. Oh my goodness, I'm wrestling that. This is a heavier fabric. Okay, let's pull everything down. Get the bag. lining in there. Okay, now we can start turning this up. Okay. So I'm going to clip, where's my hole? There it is. As I straighten this seam out, I'm going to clip it, and then we're going to top stitch, and then I'll do the zipper. And because it's thick here, I may only be able to top stitch it here, but I'll see if I can put a rivet in there too. Very cute. So when I show you afterwards, you'll see how much smaller this bag is. Does it take anybody else a long time to do this? Or is it just me? Another thing I want to say about this this fabric, it feels like cork. It really has a nice feel to it that feels like cork. Yeah, I think this zipper pocket needs to be a little bigger. Yes, this is definitely a bag I would carry all the time. It's a perfect size. Right now I'm carrying that, the Veronica, and that's a nice size to carry too. It's a little more dressy than this one. Mind you, you can bling this one up like I did with the other one. It's a Hollywood bag after all. And you can, you know, bling this up and... Okay, so shove that all in. I won't do my zipper pocket up yet until this is all in. Okay, so I'm going to now top stitch all the way around, and I think I can manage it that I can do it from the outside. I'll do it from the inside. And I always start my top stitching kind of where there's a seam, so that when I pull my threads to the back, I can kind of hide it at that seam when I burn the ends, and that it's not, you don't see it. Okay, I'm going to increase my stitch length to a 4 for top stitching. Come on, get under there. It's fighting me. Oh, got some oil leaking here. My light seems to collect all the oil here. Okay. Let's try this again. All right, so I am going to be pulling my threads to the back. And I crank around those thick seams. Just works better for me that way. And I don't know, I can't seem to get a hump jumper to work. So I use my knee lift like a hump jumper. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull the blind because you've got a lot of daylight showing there. Okay. You won't see the glare, that's bad. Thanks, Nicole. You make me feel better. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for taking all this time out of your Sunday to hang out with me and the mistakes. But like I said, you know, we're all human, and we're not all perfect, because bag making is not perfect, and it doesn't matter how long we've been doing this and how many times you do the same pattern. I tell you, I make mistakes constantly. I'm just thankful when I do my tutorials, I can edit it out. Okay, I've just pulled the threads through, and I always tie 2 threads together that I've already pulled, so I don't get them mixed up with the ones that are left to pull. Adding piping would look, yes, it would. Yes, it would. Especially with the, Nancy, especially with the sunflower. And this color, this color of the dragon scale would go with a lot of nice things, like, you know, browns, tans. It would, so many different opportunities or ideas of what you can do with it. Okay. All right, top stitching is done. Let's just push this. Oh, and I now have to do that, close up that zipper pocket. There it is. All right, so we already folded it in. So I'll just tuck these guys in and fold them. This isn't a very big zipper pocket, but it's enough just to carry, you know, if you have lipstick or lip balm or your keys or whatever. Yes, Jack the seam ripper is our best friend. Unfortunately, I've had to use them too much today. All right, so I'm just going to stitch up that zipper pocket at 1/8 of an inch. Oops. Oh my goodness. Okay, stick that in. All right, get the lining all in there. Oh, I love the size of this bag. Oh, that's really slick. Okay, I'm just going to do that zipper pocket up. Come on, zipper. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to put my zipper on, pull that up now, again, through the at the top. So I don't know how you guys do yours, but I line up my two ends here, make sure that they're together, and my zipper teeth, I line those up and I clip all down my zipper teeth to keep everything lined up. I just find this works for me. I don't know what you guys do, but and then just make sure that this is even, and it is. All right, so I'm going to take my zipper pull now that I know that these are even. Everything matches. Just let me trim the ends a bit. They're a little frayed. They've had a rough go. with all of my mistakes, they've had a little rough go, so I'm probably going to cut about 1 inch off. All right, and then I'll put my zipper pull on. And this zipper pull will look amazing against this Merglow, is what she's calling hers. And tooth. Oh, so come on, don't fall off. Oh, good. Okay. And they line up beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to take my end of my zipper, and what I do is I fold. I mean, you guys all do it your way, but this is how I do it. I fold that edge in and then fold it behind the zipper teeth. Do the same with that. Fold that in behind, and then I burn it and melt it. Oops. And then squish it down so it stays. And then I'm just going to add a clip and then get my zipper end. And I do take that glue from Walmart that I will not ever use again with fabric. It's useless, but anyhow, it's cheap and it does work with stuff like this. And I put a couple of drops of this in the zipper end, just the same as when I do my strap ends and all of that kind of thing. And then I'll stick it on. Shove it in as far as I can. And then do the screw up. Oops. That is nice. I really like this. Like I said, I've never been fond of yellow before, but I'm telling you, I really like this sunflower color. And it goes really well with this Merglow. I think So Yours has the same fabric, and she calls it dragon scale. I don't know what's happened here. Okay, so there is the bag. Now this is how the zipper wound up going with me sewing it the way I did it. It sits a little bit further down than having a peak in the center, and this is the way Janelle does it, I believe, for the Aspen with EMMALINE bags. So that's how it sits. It sits a little further down. It doesn't pop up, but I like it. So now we're going to do our strap, and I'm going to get the rivets. I'm going to rivet it. This is really pretty. I like it. I'm like Barbie. I say it all the time. This is going to be my bag. All right, so this is the right side. I'm going to lift that up so I can see what I'm doing. Sorry about the jiggling. All right, so I need 2 rivets. And 2 posts and 2 caps. All right. So this, that's the right side. Hopefully these are going to fit in. All right, perfect. And I'm having the sunflower color sit out. Oh, another thing I want to mention also, I was talking about my brother Rob, and he teaches sewing to the military guys. One of the things he also said about when you use your hole punch, you know, and you've got your little anvil here, and I've got like a 1/4 of an inch divot in here. He said when you use your hole punch and something else, he said so that you don't get the marks and your when you cut through the hole through, and it's not fighting to get through to the other end. He said, use a little scrap of cardstock and put it down here, and then your fabric on top of the cardstock. I haven't done it yet, but he said that helps your hole punch better. So there you go. Stuff from my brother. I have 2 younger brothers. So Chris, you guys have seen on my lives, popping in and with his wife Sue and saying hi. Okay, almost done. We're almost done. Okay. One thing about rivets is sometimes mine going crooked. Okay, that felt good. There we go. All right, hold on, guys. I'm going to move you, so if you get sick, close your eyes. Just going to move you over and raise you up. Okay, get my lights out of the way. Turn the light on me. Hopefully you can't see it. I've got two different lights here, so the problem is these lights, I wind up getting green rings in my glasses, reflection from them. Okay. Turn that there. Now you can, sorry. We're done. Yay. Okay, 3 hours. Yay, but we got it done with mistakes and all. And then I've got a mistake to show you that I'm going to fix after because I wasn't happy. So there's our inside. And under the flap, we've got our slip pocket. And then on this side, we have our zipper pocket. Not a big one, but you know what? It's just enough to put, and you're not reaching down into it. And then when we do up our zipper, which of course, like I did differently, but it sits in there. So this is the Diva. And this one has a bit of a pop-up here, where this one, it sits down. And one thing I like about having a recessed zipper like this, if I just want to carry my phone like this, I can. Or a water bottle. And you can carry, you can carry stuff like that. I find it very handy. So there's our recessed zipper. I've done it differently, of course. But you guys do yours. And then there's the back. Now, like my seams have to be trained, they're not perfect. That's always the thing with a new bag. So I'm going to be putting my hot towels in. And I like having the long zipper pull. So when I make these, because the zipper itself is like a 1/2 inch, so I kind of cut it like maybe a 1/16 of an inch less as wide as an inch. And then I fold it in, and then I top stitch around and make my little curve. And then that seems to fit, and then I rivet it on. So that's really nice. Look at that. And then you've got this great slip pocket at the front for your phone. All right, so this is how. All right, let me see if I can stuff something in here. Maybe Stitch will fit again. Don't really have anything. Oh, here's a package of wet wipes. That'll fit. Just to give it, some substance. So there we have it. Now I could have used foam on these top edges, but birthing that bag through that little tiny zipper, it was a struggle for me anyway. So here it is on. I love that. Look at that. That is so cute. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's the right height. It's the right strap length as well, because I can hug it like that. So there is the petite. Now, here's like the bazillionth mistake. So I have to now take out my top stitching, because the top stitching looks amazing on the inside, but my bobbin was all screwed up. And the stitching looks horrible. So I'm going to pick out the top stitching after we're done here, and after I get all the links in here, and then I'm going to retop stitch that. But so there is the petite, and there's the Diva. So look at the size difference. There's a significant size difference. Like I said initially, this one's going to be a lot shorter. So look at that. Isn't that great? So there's the diva. This is done in that navy leather. And the front bling, because it's the Hollywood shoulder bag diva. That front bling, rhinestone bling, is from Sam Fabric. There's the back of the diva. And then there's the petite. I love it. It's so cute. So guys, oh, commercials. Can't see the errors. Yeah, well, I can see them. And I don't like how that stitching turned out. I need a drink. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. Mistakes and all, I didn't intend it to go this long. I mean, 11, 12, 1, 2. So yeah, just over 3 hours, but you guys are wonderful, hanging in. And a must make, will add purse feet. Yeah, purse feet would look great, especially on the big one. Did I? No, and I didn't put purse feet on the big one. I don't know that I would put purse feet on the little one, just because it's little. It's more of a casual, but I guess if you zhuzh that one up too, you could have purse feet. But thanks a lot, guys, so much for being here. I hope I got to say hi to everybody. Oh, Lindiana. Yeah, we are our own worst critics. And me, because I'm a super anal perfectionist, I've let a lot go over the years. I'm not as severe as I used to be, and there might be a little touch of OCD in there too. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for being here. As soon as we're off the live, I'll fix up the link to this one and make sure that all the links are on there for you guys to click on for the pattern. So make sure that you get the Hollywood shoulder bag from Purses by Holly. And it's one of her older patterns, and she asked me to do a tutorial, and I'm just, thank you so much, Holly. I think she probably had to go. And, thank you so much, Holly, for asking me to do this pattern. I like to do, probably because I have them and I don't have to purchase them, but I have, the older patterns. I like to be able to do new tutorials on them, because that gives a resurgence of sales to the pattern designer. So if, I don't know if Holly sold any of these, but hopefully when people start watching this live, they'll want to get the pattern too, and that'll help Holly, and we're all here to help. So I really appreciate it. So thanks a lot, guys. And yes, don't forget, Sam Fabric in Quebec still has the sale on till July 31st, 15, 20, 25% or something like that. Don't quote me, but I'll definitely post it in this link. I had it all in the other link when we lost the audio. So, all right, guys, take care. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Sunday, July 19th, my mummy's 89th birthday. All right, guys, take care, and we will see you the next time. Don't forget, mark on your calendar, Thursday, July 23rd, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ellie from Sawdust and Stitches and I will be going live doing the Veronica shoulder bag from Shambhala. So this is the one that I did a tutorial on, and it's all Sam Fabric. This is Galaxy Custom, this eggplant. This floral and this iridescent black swirl is from Lens Mills, but this is Sam Fabric. This amazing croco is Sam Fabric. And then on the back as well. Isn't that gorgeous? I love purple and orange together. This is a beautiful bag, and it's a nice size bag to carry too. And this one has piping. So, it's a great bag. So Ellie and I are going to be doing this on July 23rd, 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So mark your calendars. I haven't created the link yet because I don't want to create it too early in advance, but I'll probably create it tomorrow just so that everybody has time. I like to give people time to book their time when I do a live and stuff like that, and whatever. Anyways, guys, thanks so much. Yes, Kathy, it's your birthday for sure. I have that written down as well. So, Nancy said 25% on $100. Okay, so don't forget, I don't know. You guys in the US, when you shop on Canadian websites, do you get a better price because of our currency price difference? Like I know when I can't afford to shop on US sites because, if it's $100 US, that's $150 Canadian. Plus we have duties at the door. Like I purchased something and I've literally paid $75 at the door on duty. So, yeah, unfortunately, but that's why I like to promote Canadian vendors for our Canadian friends. And the US, you guys have so many different amazing places to shop, like Wild Pony Designs and Genie Bags and stuff like that. So, anyways, take care. And we'll see you live again on the 23rd. But look for the other tutorials. I've got about 3 or 4 tutorials already recorded, and I'm trying to just post something every 4 days, is what my schedule is. I'm trying to do. So, take care. Thanks a lot, guys. And we'll see you the next time. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button.